welcome in. We're here with live with Culture Repz TV, Fathead 7:30, Postal 7:30. We're here live with SoleyGhost, East Coast Boutique here in New Jersey. We're here live for the show. We are at Soul Exchange tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot of footage for that. But at the end of the day, it's all about the man, the myth right now, SoleyGhost, one of the biggest dudes influencing the game right now. So with that said, we're here live to figure out what's on this man's mind, what he's bringing to the table, and why do you got such a big following right now? Like, what's going on? Like, who is Ghost?
I mean, I think why people relate to me and why people like the person that I am is because, you know, I come from a humble background. You know, I try to be, you know, a person that answers everybody. I don't think I'm better than anyone. You know, you have a lot of people out here that have a, you know, crazy following, and they think, you know, I'm too good to answer those people or whatever else. And, you know, your people are, you know, your fans and the people who support you are the people who make you who you are. So without those people, you'd really be nobody. So, you know, when people always tell me like, oh, you're my idol, you're this and that, you know, my go-to line is, you know, I'm just an ordinary dude who likes kicks. Because that's how I grew up. You know, this sneaker thing to me is 15, 16 years ago. So when I've been doing it for that long, you know, and you've seen how much the culture has changed from, you know, 15 years ago to where it's at now, it's like, you know, a total 180. It's a complete, you know, opposite of, you know, the way it was. So, you know, obviously you have to adapt to that. And, you know, with Instagram, you know, I had my collection and all my stuff before Instagram. I won sneaker shows in 2006 before, you know, Instagram was around. And then, you know, yeah, I started posting up my sneakers on Instagram, and then, you know, I started out with a few thousand followers, and it just got crazy after that.
Yeah. Now, it's been that long, so similar to us or whatnot, like sneakers, obviously, I mean, at the end of the day, I think, you know, of course, Jordan had a big part to play with that. I could remember, like, my first pair where I was just like, oh my God, like, I need those. But just like you, humble beginnings or whatnot, parents couldn't afford certain things. Like, what was that first pair where you think,
like when I asked my mother, like, yo, can I have a sneaker that's $150? She would laugh at me, you know? So, you know, when I was younger, I you know, my first pair that I really wanted was the J Kid Air Zoom Flight, and I wanted it to play like 6th or 7th grade basketball. The white with the black and the gray carbon fiber type of look, and it has like the big bubbles. You know, that was the first shoe that I really wanted. And then when I got into high school, you know, the sneaker thing was not a competition, but you always wanted to look fresh. So, you know, I guess you would say OG people that in the game that do this, you know, we originally bought sneakers obviously because we like sneakers, but also because, you know, we wanted it to match our outfit. And that was important. You know, you went out, you put on your outfit, your sneakers matched, your hat matched, or whatever it was, and you felt good about yourself going out that night. You know, now you have people who buy sneakers because they want to be cool, or because it's the cool thing to do, not because they actually have a passion for it, or, you know, really care about the shoes. They more like, you know, want to post up on Instagram and just be popular. And it's like, you know, if you're doing that, you're doing the sneaker culture thing for the wrong reason.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I think you should always, you know, get whatever type of sneaker you want, just because you want to get it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you want to enjoy.
Yeah, of course. And people always think like, oh, because that sneaker is really expensive, it's dope. Like, if the sneaker to me is not a good looking shoe and I don't like the actual aesthetics of the shoe, the way it actually looks or the colorways, I won't buy shoes just because, hey, they're expensive. You know, you have a lot of people out here and be like, yo, I just bought this crazy sample, look at it, this and that, and you look at the shoe, and to me personally, I think it's an ugly shoe. You know, but they buy it because they think like, oh, I'm flexing. And it's like, that's cool to a certain degree, but at the same point, you know, I buy exactly what I like. I buy shoes to match my outfit. You always catch me in something that's matching. And so if, you know, there's a shoe that, you know, the LeBron 2K14, you know, you see it in the case right there, I personally wouldn't wear cheetah print. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just me being a man. It's not that there's anything wrong with that shoe.
It's not in me.
It's just not my style, you know, but people, because it's limited and there's only a certain amount made, people think that that shoe's hot.
No, absolutely.
And, you know, if you ask me my opinion, I don't think it is. And again, if you wear it, kudos to you, you know what I mean? It's cool, but it's just not my style.
I mean,
so
good
like,
luck finding something that looks good on you with that type of print as a man. I mean,
Trinidad, I feel like that's a Trinidad James shoe. You know what I
good
mean?
call.
Definitely.
Good call, for sure. Now, with the whole Ghost and Ghost label and SoleyGhost, like I feel like right now you have a big following. So, how do you feel about like the influence like you're doing? Are you like you are obviously influencing like the game, your picks, anything you do is like getting a lot of hype. Like, are you scared of like mistake? Are you scared like to do something wrong where it might cause a rift in the industry?
I mean, to be honest with you, as of right now, not really. I feel like if you try to be an influencer and you try to be someone who does things and creates a positive, motivation for people, failure is really not an option. I'm one of those people, you see me behind the background, do things or whatever, but I'm up till 3, 4 o'clock in the mornings, always thinking about ways and different things and different ideas. And, when I came up with the idea of doing, the Ghost label with, my manager right now, my boy Ant, and we were just talking about it, before you drop that first t-shirt, there's always that thought in your mind, like, what if this shit flops?
Yeah.
You know?
We know that.
So, with the people that I have surrounding me and the network and the people that, are my friends, I knew with what was going on that it wouldn't. Just because I knew that, I have the support of other people, and, when you are a positive person, other people look at you and say, like, all right, this dude's doing positive things, I'm going to support that, we rock with you. And then, after we sold out the first t-shirt in like, I think it was like 15 or 18 minutes, we knew that we had something good going. And, now we're about like 10 releases deep, and, we can't even keep the shirts on the shelves. I mean, I have friends that, hit me up and say like, yo, can I get a t-shirt, or can I get whatever? And it's like, yo, I don't even got them. You know what I mean? They're gone.
No, you're right. I saw the sweater. I was like, hey man, like, what's up?
And just, it's not personal. It's just like, I just try to, keep it limited and keep it that way. Cause, I don't want some sort of like fashion brand where your stuff's everywhere. The 3M thing that you're doing, we really did it because no one else was really doing it besides like this company called Ice Cold New York, and they did it so when people were driving like bikes in the city, they would be reflective.
Okay. So
like they catered to like that sort of market, and then people caught on to them and were like, oh, this is dope, and they started like getting into like boutiques and stores like that. But, I looked at their designs and stuff, and no shot at them.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my style, but I was always into 3M.
Yeah.
My friend John Reaper and I, we always were a believer in like 3M Thursdays and all that stuff.
Okay. Which
is like old school stuff. If you had, old school Air Max 90s and stuff like that, a lot of these shoes, 3M is not a new thing.
No.
3M's been around for years. But to like these new people like, oh, 3M's dope. But there was it's not an easy process to put 3M on a shirt. People think it's easy. It's not something that's easy. So, we just, started making the t-shirts to go with, certain colorways of shoes that were coming out. And just so, if your shoes were glowing, your shirt could glow.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess that's really what caught on. Everybody, when you take a picture and you see your shirt glowing, people like, yo, what's that?
Yeah, I think that I have to say that's probably like the catchiest part.
That's taking a picture, and it's like, exactly. I mean, we have people like, oh, your design is so simple. And like, we kept it that way on purpose. We have a lot of designs that we haven't put out yet that we're working on, but, sometimes simplicity works. And I feel like, there's a pigeon out there for Staple Pigeon. There's Pink Dolphins, you know what I mean? There's Nikki Diamonds, who got a diamond. I'm trying to think of some other, brands that got a logo. Why can't there be a Ghost one?
Is that where you're trying to take Is that where you're trying to take it? You're trying to take it to that next?
To be honest with you, I'm not really sure. We're just taking it step by step. We don't really know exactly where we want to take it. I mean, I like things that are limited, just like I like my sneakers and stuff like that. So like, I'd rather keep it where it wasn't to that extreme. But I can't foresee the future. But I know that we're doing well as we are now. So I mean, I could see that. I mean, I get phone calls and text messages, and my manager gets them all the time about people who want them in stores and whatever else. But I don't know if that's really like the route that we're trying to honestly take.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you something. Can you just let some of our viewers know about the boutique that you have here? You know, some of the viewers that, you know, come to New York, the Jersey area.
All right, so
How long you been here, and how does the community feel about you having a shop here?
okay, so my store's in Rahway, New Jersey. I started the store about a year ago. I have 2 partners with me. You know, it really started, why we did the store was because, you know, they were selling a lot of sneakers and I was selling a lot of sneakers, and we were, you know, selling sneakers back and forth to each other. And I was sick and tired of actually having to go meet people.
Yeah.
You know, I'd have boxes upon boxes in my trunk and, you know, having to run around where, you know, I said to them, I said, you know, we should have some sort of location where we have a store where people could come. And, you know, it happened to be that one of my partners is from here, so it just worked out that way, so we decided to open up the store. At that point, my Instagram was still kind of growing. Once I knew that, you know, once we had a grand opening and I saw how well it was doing, you know, I knew that, you know, this was the right decision to make. But again, that was like another thing, like with, you know, the t-shirts. It was just one of those things that you got a dope following, you got a lot of people that support you, but will that translate into being able to run a successful sneaker business? And a lot of people in this game tell you like, hey, I want to be like you, I want to own a store. You know, I wanted this and I wanted that. And like, it's funny because my partners and I, we always laugh all the time. And I always tell them, it's like, I wish we didn't own a store. And like, that sounds really ironic to say as being a store owner, but there's so much work and so many back end things that you don't see that go into this hustle, that this job right here is 24/7.
Yeah.
You know, like my partners will hit me up and say, could you legit check this shoe? Shit, that shit's at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? It doesn't end. And, you know, it'll be the same thing with, you know, just random things. You know, just like you don't realize like, hey, we're always thinking of ways to make the store better. It's not something where, you know, it's not a 9-to-5 job. When you have a hustle like this, you know, you're going out and you're finding the shoes. You're going to the stores on Saturdays, picking up the releases so you have them here. You know, it's not something where it's, you know, you snap your fingers and everything's golden and you just make money. You have to really go find the money. Yeah. And people don't understand like that whole concept of like what, you know, the reality of owning a sneaker.
All right, so like the name Ghost, where does Ghost come from? Like,
all right, so it's kind of a long story, but I'll keep it as short as possible. There was some little drama about it on Instagram too or whatever, but pretty much there was like, I was selling sneakers, how I was telling you before I started my store. I was selling sneakers to people, you know, and I was running around. One of the dudes that I met, he owns another sneaker show. I'm not going to put people's name out there, but whatever, people know. You know, I started messing with these dudes, and they would buy a lot of sneakers from me and whatever. And every time I would go meet them, I would have on a different pair of crazy kicks.
okay.
So, you know, someone introduced him to me and said to him, yo, this is the connect. Like talking about me, you know, you need to link with him. So every time I'd show up, I'd be wearing some crazy stuff. And then, you know, we became cool for like a month or so. You know, every time I saw him, I was wearing something crazy. And then, you know, I'd send him some pictures like, hey, yo, just check out my pickup and whatever. And I was always a behind the scenes type of dude. Like I wasn't ever put my business on Front Street. So like I was always buying the samples and buying stuff like that before it became popular on Instagram to do that stuff. You know what I mean? Like at this point I didn't have Instagram at all. I didn't even mess with it.
Okay.
So, you know, about 5 of us got in a room one day and, you know, I was still not sold about showing my face. Cause I was like, you know, I really don't know how it's gonna, you know, I own a lighting company. A lot of people don't know that about me. But like my main job is I own a lighting company. And you know, I deal with 40, 50, 60-year-old men who respect me as a businessman, being a 30-year-old businessman.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, if you know it starts coming out about the sneakers and stuff, I didn't know how it was gonna reflect on how these people viewed me. So I was like, you know, I'd rather just be behind the scenes. So it started out where we were thinking of names. So we came up with the name Ghost. You know, we went on Instagram. And you know, the agreement, I was like, you know, I'm not going to show my face in none of the pictures and none of that. I'll just show my shoes. Because I know I had the shoe. I could show shoes for 2 years straight without wearing the same pair of sneakers, you know? So, you know, they were like, we were shooting out names. We looked up Ghost. Ghost didn't work out. So, you know, one person said, what about Soley? SoleyGhost. So, you know, me and my boy Heck and my boy Rob were there, and Chris was there and whatever, and you know, I was like, I mean, that shit sounds whack as hell, but it's catchy. You know, it's catchy. So we laughed about it, you know, all of us together, we all laughed about it, and that name happened to be available. So we started rocking with it, you know what I mean? It was, you know, my shoes, you know, my boy Heck was taking the pictures for me before I had my other photographer, you know, and whatever. And, you know, the page just, you know, that's how the ghost thing came about, is because, you know, when I first started the page and I was taking pictures of all my shoes, you know, all you'd see is from the knee down.
Yeah.
And you'd never see my face. And like, you know, even in, you know, photos or anything else, I always covered my face. And it was just like, I wanted more of the sneakers to speak for themselves than the actual, you know, who I am.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I look like. It doesn't matter, you know, what nationality I am, what race, what any of those things. Just, you know, the sneakers are what mattered. So I wanted the sneakers to do the talking. So that's really where the whole entire like ghost type of thing came from, because, you know, with a ghost, you know, they have no face or whatever it is. So that's like, you know, I just didn't want my face to be, you know, seen. And then when I had the opportunity and Nice Kicks approached me to do the Nice Kick sneak peek, you know, I actually showed up that day wearing a Louis scarf over my face and my hat on. And, you know, when my boy George came here to do the interview, he was like, you can't wear that. And I was like, but this is what I wanted, you know what I mean, whatever. And he was like, listen, shoot the episode without it on your face, think about it, you know what I mean. And then he was like, you know, this is an honor to do this. And I started thinking about it more and more, and I was like, you know, this opportunity doesn't come around a lot of times to do something like this, especially when they're doing a lot of celebrities and a lot of whatever else. So I was like, you know, I guess this is a good point for me to show my face.
Yeah.
So that was really when people started recognizing and putting my face with the sneakers, you know. And then obviously the ghost name still stuck because it's my Instagram name, but, you know.
Okay.
But that's originally where the ghost came from, not showing my face.
Okay, cool. When greatness comes knocking, you gotta make sure that door opens right up.
You know,
right?
I mean, it's just one of those things where you just really, there's certain people and whatever, you know, if Michael Jordan called you up and said, hey, come play basketball at my crib.
I'll be there.
You're gonna go, you know what I mean? So when they asked me, you know, and they're doing their thing with the videos and whatever, it's an opportunity that I knew that.
Now with the whole the whole pictures like from the knee down, it's like a big trend. Like I don't, you know, you're seeing it everywhere. So you're seeing people like take their sneaker pics everywhere. Like what do you think is making like the bigger people doing it? Like what do you think is making, like, setting them apart? Is it like going above and beyond to get that, like,
I mean,
crazy background, or is it just like the sneaker?
To be honest with you, when we first started it, and this was about a year ago now, a little longer than that now actually, there wasn't that many people that were using like a dope, like a Canon T5i like I use or whatever. They weren't using that type of camera. Most people using iPhone pics and whatever else. So, you know, using a high quality camera was giving you, you know, better shots than other people. So, you know, when I started to come out and start doing it, we were taking pictures like that, you know, the pictures look crispier than other people's pictures. Then it got to the point where everyone realized, hey, I need to buy, you know, a dope camera, and now everybody's a photographer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's funny because my photographer and I, like when we sit down and we talk, and I'm blessed to have one. It's my boy though. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, whatever. It's family. It's my boy. But, you know, we sit back and we try to think of new ways of things that other people haven't done. So like, you know, we'll take shots that are just different, or have like a different type of background or a different type of theme to the picture, or like have more meaning. Like I was the other day, I didn't post a picture yet, but I took a picture wearing the Brooklyn Zoo in front of 560 State Street. And that's Jay's song, you know, took it to my stash spot, 560 State Street.
Okay.
You know, so maybe a lot of people wouldn't get what I was doing with that because you have a younger community.
There's more to it.
But the people who know hip hop and know the rap culture and know, you know, the hip hop culture and sneaker culture, when you mix that two together, it's a dope picture.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, and we just try to do things like that. You know, like you know, I'll take a lot of pictures with New York in the background because I'm from New York. You know what I mean? And I rep it being from here hard. You know, I'm proud to say I'm from here. You know, and you know, I joke around a lot and I'll post things like, "Oh, King of New York," this and that, and like, I'm a humble dude. If you know me, I'm not like that. But I just say it because I'm proud that, you know, I could be repping my state the way that I'm doing it. You know, and there's a lot of people out here, DJ Clark Kent, you got Mayor,
Yeah.
you know, you got a lot of dudes that are out here that are proud to be from New York too, you know, and they, at any opportunity that they get, they make it be known, you know, and that's a thing that I try to do too, you know, just because, you know, when you're from, you know, basically the capital of the world and stuff, you know, it's a different type of situation.
I just posted that the other day, you know, New York is pretty much the unofficial world capital. Like, if I had to say anything, New York City is pound for pound, and we're from Miami, a very live.
Oh, I love Miami. It's my second home. I know, you know.
Like,
So
Miami's home, but at the end of the day, like, New York is the world, and this is like my 4th time here in the city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's amazing. Now.
Solely, I know you're very passionate about sneakers, and you've been doing it.
Let's go to that. Hold on one second. I hate when people call me Soley.
Okay.
No offense to you, nothing.
Cut that.
I hate that.
Okay.
I hate that. So Ghost fine. I'm just saying, I just Soley just because y'all, I hate that. People talk, yo. It plays in my head at night, yo. I can't handle that shit. Solely, it's like,
My fault, man.
just because I said before, it was like, yo, we thought that. I was like, yo, that's just whack. And then, yo, so my close friends, they know it bothered me and stuff. So like, they'll call me, like my manager, when he wants to get my attention, he'll be like, yo, Soley. And I'll be like, come on, man. Really, right now, you're going to call me Soley?
That's like,
it's like when your mom calls you for your full name.
Yeah, like I knew I was in trouble when my mom called me Adam Timothy. I knew I was done. It's like, Adam Timothy, you're done, you know? It's
it's not too far away.
Yeah, you did something wrong.
Okay, so Ghost, I know you're very passionate about your sneakers. You've been in the game for 10 to 15 years. Where do you see yourself and as far as the sneaker community 10 to 15 years from now?
Honestly, I hope that I could just sit back and just watch from afar and just hope that the influences and, you know, the positive vibes and stuff that we've given to the younger community, they could carry on, you know, the torch and the flame. You know, at some point, will I always be wearing dope sneakers? Of course. Will I always, you know, a lot of people, you know, we call them renters. You know, like a lot of people, they buy a shoe, they'll take a few pictures, and then, you know, they'll sell it or whatever. You know, I have my collection, so hopefully, you know, I get to pass it on to my kid one day and whatever else. But, you know, in 15 years from now, I hope the store's going well enough where, you know, my partners, they're younger than me. You know, I'm 30 now, they're in their 20s. So hopefully, you know, the store, they buy me out, the store's theirs, and I could just, you know, sit back and relax and just watch from afar and just hope that, you know, the positive, you know, vibe and the positive, you know, things that we've brought to this community reflect to the kids these days, and they understand that, you know, the reasons why some of us older people do it. You know, and it's tough. You know, I honestly, will I still have Instagram and any of that stuff? I mean, if Instagram ended tomorrow, I say this all the time, you know, I'd still be doing the same thing, but would you? You know, so that's like my big thing. You know, I did it before Instagram. I do it now that I have Instagram, and I will be doing it when Instagram ended. Because there's no telling, you know, there was MySpace, and there was Facebook, now there's Instagram.
Yeah,
there's gonna be something else.
There's always trends.
You know what I mean? So at some point that will end, and it won't change who I am. So I just try to, you know, make people see, like, don't let any of this stuff change who you really are. You know what I mean? If you're doing this because you want to be popular, it's not the right reason to do it. Like, 5,000 likes still equals $0.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, you know, your amount of likes doesn't equal up to money, you know, and like, people don't realize, like, I use Instagram as like a way for business too. Besides education and purposes, I use it for business as well. So it's a nice mix of both, you know, like I showcase my sneakers, but at the same point, if I didn't have my store and I didn't have all these other things, like, it really wouldn't be that important. But it's a way for people to make money. So I try to, you know, people to see, like, hey, you know, if you're gonna have these things like social media, my partners don't know how to control the phone, obviously. But if you're gonna have things like, you know, social media, why not use those type of things that you're blessed with for free?
Yeah.
To use to make money? But you don't understand, a lot of people, like, see, people don't understand, like, when you talk to me and you know, and you see the type of dude I am, like, I went to Duke University. You know, and when I went, it was one of the top 5 schools in the country. And, you know, I have a business background, I have all that. So everything that I do has a purpose. You know what I mean? I try to make that for other people too. Like, hey, if you're trying to build up your page and you want to get popular and you want to do this, once you get to that point where you have that following, you have something, be a positive influence. Do something that you're passionate about. You know, like, I own a lighting company, and when I took this risk to do the sneaker store, everyone asked me like, yo, you're good. Like, why do you even want to do this? Because I turned something that was my passion now into my career.
Absolutely.
So for me, that was the reason why I wanted to do it.
Big difference.
I didn't want to do it because, you know, hey, this is what it was, and I don't like lights. Lights pay my bills. It's not, I don't like them. You know what I mean? So when I could do something that I liked and make money while doing it,
Yeah,
it was the difference, you know?
There's a big difference when you can turn your actual passion into a career. There's
Of
like,
course.
when you wake, like at the end of the day, any smart businessman will tell you that if you can wake up and feel like you're not working, then you're actually doing.
Yeah, actually doing something.
You're doing something.
Yeah, I wake up every day with a smile on my face. You know, I have people that, you know, joke around me and like whatever, and like, yo, I wish I had your life. I wish I this, I wish I that, and like I always say the same thing. Like my life's not any different than anybody else. I'm just happen to be doing something that I like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the main thing. So when you see me smiling, you see me whatever, it's because I have a passion for this and I like this and I enjoy this. So like I always wake up happy. You know what I
People
mean?
just have that fear, like I don't know, like just jumping into the fire or whatnot. Like,
I mean,
are you willing to go through all the sacrifices to do what you're passionate about? Are
Yeah,
you
of
willing
course.
to stick with that 9 to 5 and, you know, get that pension or something?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
So,
Of course.
Definitely, your passion is showing through this interview. I mean, you know, all the questions we're asking, the way you're answering it, it's
Thank
just 100% real. You know. And,
Thank you.
And that's all we ask from the, you know, the community and whenever we meet people.
It's
So,
tough,
you know,
and I feel like a lot of people, you know, I have a lot of real people around the community that respect me, and a lot of them will say the same thing. They're like, yo, you're just like a real dude. Like, you tell it exactly how it is. You don't lie, you don't bullshit, you don't sugarcoat things. Like, if you don't want to hear the truth, then you shouldn't follow me.
Yeah.
Because at certain points, like, there'll be certain days, you know, like, I put up a thing right before you guys got here on my page, and, you know, it was just something that I was just feeling at the moment, and, like, it's kind of relevant to what you say. I wrote, you know, it's like a little caption. It says, successful people never worry about what others are doing. And it's like, I never ever sit back and compare myself to other people who are in the sneaker community. You know, like, Perfect Pair, that's my homie, that's my dude. And people be like, oh, you in Perfect Pair, got the best color, you got this, you got that. And like, it's not competition.
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're successful with what you're doing in life, you're not worried about what somebody else is doing. You know what I mean? Like, now, to get mentioned with somebody like his caliber, or a Dependable J, or a PE Vault, or, you know, these dudes who came, you know, Soul Supreme, 23, these dudes who pick, a lot of these young cats don't even know exist. You know what I'm saying? To be mentioned with dudes like that, that's what's humbling to me. You know, and it's like, I don't worry about what other people are doing. I worry about what I have going on. You know, like, you know, I have some t-shirt brands and some other people that, you know, don't have nice things to say about me. I ain't gonna let it bother me. I'm not gonna take their subliminal shots on like, oh, but what design is that? It's like, it's so basic, it's this and that. It's like, I'm not worried about them. Like, why are you worried about me? You know, just worry about yourself. And if you're successful, you're not worried about what everyone else out there is doing. You're just worried about what you're doing. And as long as you're doing what makes you happy and what you're passionate about, I feel like everything else falls into place, you know?
Yeah, we all get caught up with some of the, I mean, a lot of those quotes that you see on Instagram, I don't know where they come, where half of them come from. But
I always wonder who makes it. Like, who sits there all day?
all right, man. So we want to thank SoleyGhost for coming out and, you know, hanging out with the Culture Repz. Letting us, a privilege for us to come out to the
Definitely.
boutique today and,
Thank
you
you,
know,
guys. Thank you
hang
for
with the
your time, man.
Ghost.
Thank you for
Make
your
sure
time.
you follow us at Soul Exchange NYC tomorrow and keep up with us, Culture Repz TV. Also, Ease the Crave, brought to you tonight. Ease the Crave Showcase, Kissimmee, coming real soon. Pay attention. Thank you for your time. Good night.